fam.news.
We are reflecting on the incredible events that have shaped our mattress community over the past year, including Dream Camp, Sleep Summit, and the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind. Find out how Englander is celebrating 130 years. Plus, get ready to learn from Ice and Bamboo as you prepare to be intentional with your 2024 and become the person who is always ready to play the game. The Fam Podcast begins right now.
1894, Max Englander hand-built the first Englander mattress. Today, Englander mattresses are still bench-made right here in the USA. Proven materials, expertly layered, and every stitch triple-checked. All for you. Englander, better sleep by design.
Hey, are you a mattress retailer looking to supercharge your business? Introducing Podium, your secret weapon. I use it. I'm a huge fan of it. And with Podium's AI-powered lead conversion, you can engage with customers in seconds via text, making it feel like they're talking to a friend. But hey, that's just the beginning. Podium offers texting, payments, reviews, website chat, and more, all in one place. You've got to be the most responsive retailer to help customers solve those sleep problems in the moment. Harness the power of Podium today and start growing your business. Visit podium.com right now to learn more.
Welcome to the FAM Podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the betting business get even better.
You did it. You found your way to the number one podcast in the mattress industry, serving retailers, manufacturers, suppliers, business services, and all the amazing people that make the mattress and the bedding business so great. I'm your host, Mark Kinsley. I'm the president and CEO of Englander Mattress Company, the founder of the FAM, and I'm so excited to kickstart this year, and I'm grateful for what led to this moment. I mean, right here on the podcast, we had incredible guests like Greg Law and Kyle Dietz and Seth Goldberg and Paul Longman and James Perez, and so many more. And over the course of the past year, the FAM has really become this incredible community for the mattress industry. It always has been, but it really gelled this past year with events like Dream Camp and Sleep Summit and the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind and a host of other events. I mean, Dream Camp alone, we'd go back to that one. We started that several years back, and we had Dream Camp Key West in 2023, and we had more than 40 people come out to Dream Camp. We limit it to 30 people that are primary in the mattress industry. But we, when it comes down to like, hey, I'm going to Key West in April, honey, we wanted spouses to be able to come along. And we know so many couples work in the business together. And from there, you fast forward to October of 2023, and we had just an absolutely effervescent event with Sleep Summit 2023. We had 115 people. Lots of mattress retailers come from all over the country to enjoy incredible speakers, sleep education with Dr. Kimberly Lemke and Nancy Watt. We had Megan Anderson from Mattress Firm. We had Harry Roberts, the founder of Mattress Firm, up on stage for a fireside chat. We talked AI with Carrie Johnson and incredible sales training, really top-notch sales training with Stephen Ferguson and Bob Munkle. Jason Friedman brought the thunder with the shifts to massive growth. And of course, Tara Youngblood with more sleep education. And my friends, Dave and Jenny Mars, the stars of Fixer to Fabulous on HGTV, came along. We had a really fun time, and everybody got their picture taken with them. So it was just a really special event. And if you didn't happen to make it to Dream Camp or to Sleep Summit, I'm going to get that information out to you. Just always go over to fam.news. Make sure you're signed up for our text messages through our Podium number and the email list to make sure you don't miss out on anything. But Dream Camp is going to be taking place at the end of April. And then I want you to get out your calendar right now if you're listening on your computer or your phone, because I want you to be sure to block off the dates for Sleep Summit 2024, which is coming back to Bentonville, Arkansas, my backyard. We have a new venue. We're going to have a new slate of speakers, all kinds of fun surprises. It's just an incredible event. If you don't believe me, just pay attention to our social media channels where lots of people, submitted their testimonials talking about what happened at that event. So here's when it's going to happen. You're going to come in on Monday, October 7th, and you're going to stay through the 10th. So it's going to be a welcome reception on the 7th, And then all day, October 8th and 9th, we're going to have incredible speakers, lots of content, lots of opportunities for you to see what's next, newest, and relevant in the bedding business. And I promise you, this ain't your granddaddy's mattress retail conference. It's a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see you there. And, part of, as you head into a new year and round out the past year, for me, it's reflecting on all those things you're grateful for. And I have to say that I'm incredibly grateful for all the people that came to Dream Camp, all the people that came to Sleep Summit, all of our incredible Englander customers. Englander added new accounts. We expanded our business with our dealer base. Internationally, we're serving 25 countries and we're planning to expand that global footprint. And coming up this year, Englander is celebrating our 130th anniversary. So I want to let everybody know, here's a headline for you. They do make them like they used to. I mean, that's us. That's really our story. A history and heritage like ours, you got to do the right thing day after day and year after year. And we build the mattresses that you'd want to give your mom because you always want her to be comfortable. You never want her to have any problems. And I know this is true because my mom's special. So, of course, she got early access to the Tension Ease H2. The H2 means hybrid mattress with hybrid foam. You're going to have to stop by and see us at Vegas Market because we rolled this out. But my mom called me 3 days later. And of course, being a mattress guy, I'm like, Mom, just give it a few days because sometimes after sleeping on a mattress that maybe didn't fit your body the best, you're going to need time for your body to adapt. She does call me about 3 days later. And she says, I have to tell you something. I said, yes, what? Is everything okay? Because she had told me previously that she was sleeping on a mattress. She said, there's a big hump in the middle and I feel like I'm having to move around to get a comfortable position. And even then, it's not really comfortable. And of course, I'm saying, Mom, why didn't you tell me? Don't suffer through that. And so she says, I have to tell you something. She says, last night, I slept 11 and a half hours. She said, I haven't slept that long in decades. And I said, are you okay? Is everything like health-wise, are you okay? She says, yes. I was that uncomfortable and I was constantly fighting for position and I never was really relaxing and I didn't know it. And I hear this all the time. We got a good friend of the family, Sandy. She always tells me every time I see her, she can't believe she waited until she was 70 years old to get a king size mattress because she just needed the extra space, her and her husband, Dave. And then it was just comfortable for her. And she was just suffering with a bad mattress. So I'm really excited about celebrating Englander's customers, our consumers, and our 130th anniversary. And coming up in our showroom, we have a major refresh going on. So you're going to have to come by and see this incredible display of more than 50 original historical print ads from the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and one from the 80s. There's no other collection like this out there. And it's all going to be in C1596 in our Englander showroom. So it's just really fun for us to pull those parts and pieces of our history and heritage story together and then help retailers understand how to make that meaningful to consumers. And for us, it's like I said, we make them like they used to. We do the right thing day after day, year after year. And we're so excited about the continuation of our partnerships and hopefully to see you at C1596 coming up at Vegas Market. And the other thing that happened this past year that's really special is the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind. And this was a program that we launched at Sleep Summit. And I think I've told many of you this before, but I kind of scratch my own itch in this industry. And I thought there was a better way to do a summit type event, which is a meeting of the minds. It's less of a conference and it's people from the industry coming together to build something that serves us. And so that's why we launched Sleep Summit. My other rub has always been, whether you're going to one of these incredible buying group shows or you're going to a conference of some sort or market or even some of the industry supplier events, they seem to have lacked a connective tissue that bridged event to event. And I would find people coming to these different conferences, for example, and really leaving and going home and not doing much with it, and letting all that inspiration and all those ideas and insights sit inside of their notebooks. And so for me, I thought if you have a group where you have coaching and mentorship and masterminding, which is everybody sharing together, and you have accountability from that structure between the events, how much more progress could people make? And so it was almost this grand experiment, number one, to see if that was really a need. But the only way to find out, which was really scary for me, was to work with some incredible people, Jason Friedman, Drew Grolinger, to come up with this plan and this program for people and see if they said yes, see if there was enough of a need. And so at Sleep Summit, we said, here's what we're offering. Here's what we've built, and we've built it for you. And more than 30 people said yes. And I'm talking, I'm one call out here, and this is not to take away from the rest of the group, which is absolutely incredible. But the founder of Mattress Firm, Harry Roberts, my good friend, Yan Bailey, said yes. And he brought along his entire team, his leadership team, to be a part of MMM, the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind. And that just really spoke to me, because here's an incredibly successful person with an incredibly successful team of partners and leaders. And they said, we want fuel. We want sharing. We want to be a part of something bigger and better so that we can make sure that we're around iron sharpening iron. And so to see that group really grow in the way it has been just an absolute joy, because they're learning, they're growing, they're helping each other, they're catapulting their businesses forward, they're getting unstuck unlike anything I've ever seen. There was actually a moment that happened at our first in-person event. So we have multiple in-person events, and we have virtual events, and we have laser coaching, and we have a bunch of other bonus days and things like that as part of this program. But our first in-person event, everybody came back to Bentonville. And we had this great room that was really frigid and cold that kept everybody on their toes. And I remember one of our members in the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind was having a really hard time with a team issue. Anybody relate to this? I'm going to throw it out to you. You've got a rock star salesperson. Deep down, you know that person is a problem. You know that person could be cancer that's eating away at other parts of your business. You know that person could be lowering morale, killing the effervescence that you know could be there, that volcanic positivity that could be there. They got clarity at that in-person event. This member got clarity at that in-person event. They went back, they fired this person, and for the first time in ages, that store, which was their top store, but had suffered to hit goal, and all these different things were happening with this rock star salesperson. They brought in somebody else, boom, they hit goal. So that's just one example of navigating the potential minefield that is business, that is mattress retail, that is manufacturing and serving retailers that we're working on through the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind. And it's a closed program right now. If you want to get involved at some point, holler at me, let me know. But I say all that just to express that I'm incredibly grateful for the people that said yes to themselves, said yes to trying something with other A players in this industry, and wanted to be a part of something that we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into to make sure that this industry is advancing in the direction I want it to go. And then kind of rounding out my list of a recap for 2023 as we head into this new year and get ready to kick the tires and light the fire. I was so honored to host and MC Keith Moneymaker's Dreams4All event, and the team from Sweet Dreams Mattress and more in Pinehurst and the Pinehurst area. Jennifer, Corey, Keith, the entire team helped raise money to make sure that children and adults in need have a mattress to sleep on, because lots of people don't. Sleeping on floors, sleeping in chairs, sleeping on couches, sleeping in recliners. We raised more than $100,000 at this event. And I'm so thankful to Keith and his crew and everybody that supported the foundation, all the people behind the scenes that came together from a leadership perspective to support Keith. We had some strategy days, and just to everybody out there that is on the receiving end of the donation, they have to say yes to themselves as well. We had the chance to go to a men's home and deliver mattresses and set them up. And it was just a great experience to be able to talk to see some of these young men that are finding their footing and moving forward. And now that they got a great place to lay their head. And that's all because of Keith's huge heart and the entire team at the Dreams4All. And congratulations, Keith, on your new baby. If you don't follow Keith on social media, man, he's got a giant beard, a big heart, a new baby, a wonderful wife, and 3 other kids that are just living their best life. So as we head into 2024, I want you, number one, I want to invite you to be a part of something. I want you to be a part of the fam. If you're listening to this, you're already a member of the fam, which is great. But get involved. It's like Teddy Roosevelt said, the credit goes to the man in the arena. Don't sit on the sidelines. This is the year to do it. This is the year to take a chance. This is the year to invest in yourself. This is the year to get involved in Dream Camp, Sleep Summit, the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind, being a part of the fam, coming to the events, just connecting, sharing. And as we head into 2024, it's really the year for me of being intentional with those things. I feel like last year, I've heard from a lot of people, and maybe you're in this boat. Think about it. I've heard from a lot of people who said, I felt like last year, 2023, was whiplash. I felt like I was reacting all the time. I felt like everywhere I looked, there was a fire to put out. I felt like I was constantly playing catch up instead of looking forward. Sometimes the headlights are on at night and that's as far as you can see, but you can make the whole trip that way. But a lot of times people are looking in the rear view, seeing the glow of red and nothing much behind them. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about being intentional versus reactive. And I've got this principle that I try to employ as much as I can. And no, it's not always going to work, but think about it. I just want you to think about that. Let it wash over you, even if you've heard this, especially if you are feeling like you've been reactive. So I got this from a guy named Derek Sivers. And he's a guy that sold a company called CD Baby that helped independent artists, basically put out albums. And now he's just kind of a philosopher, but he says he runs the filter for things he says yes to through this idea. He says, hell yes, or it's a simple no. And what he means by that is if he's not really excited about it, he doesn't do it because he knows it's not going to be sustainable. He knows it's going to be energy and soul sucking at some point, even if he's kind of okay with it right now. So he's seen what happens when he says a gentle yes or a less than excited yes versus saying, you know what, it's got to be an absolute hell yes, I'm all in, let's go. Or it just has to be a simple thank you, but no thank you. So think about that as a filter feature for what you're going to say yes to. And what I mean by I'm a mountain biker and I live in Bentonville, Arkansas. And one of the things that they put on the trails are called filter features. And so if you start at the top of a trail, if you're a skier, maybe you can relate to this as like a green, a blue, or a black. But if you start at the top of some of the mountain biking trails, a lot of times they put in a filter feature and it's something that's really difficult. Maybe it's like a 1 or 2 foot drop, or maybe it's a little bit of a jump or some chunky rocks or whatever it might be to signal to the rider, hey, if you can't handle this, you can't handle anything that's down this trail. It's only going to get worse. So what are the filter features that you can put at the top of your trail to get rid of the things that are going to come into your life that you really should say no to? One of those things I think that's really critical as a filter feature are your personal values. It values integrity, family, growth, creativity, being with high performers. That's one for me. So think about your own list of personal values, get them down on paper. Heck, go over to ChatGPT and describe yourself and see if ChatGPT can help you with it. Whatever it takes, get those values down on paper and make sure that any decision you make within reason is mapping up to those values. I also think about what to take away and what to get rid of. You got a dog at the house and you see the dog and the dog is lonely. And you're like, we need another dog. Maybe you got a kid and you see the kid and you're like, well, if we leave, this kid's going to be lonely. It's not going to have a brother and sister to grow up with. And so you want to get another kid. all of that, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying all of that is an attitude or a mindset of adding. Well, the most valuable resource and the most precious resource that we have is time. I truly believe that. And so anytime you add something, it's likely going to take your time away. So another way of looking at it could be, what are the things that I need to take away in order to give myself something, in order to add something to my life that's important, which is time, or time with friends who I have deep relationships, time with my wife who I cherish and value. But to do that, to give yourself, to add more time, you got to say no to more things and you got to take things away. And you got to sometimes think about it in terms of, what do I need to not add to my life as opposed to add to my life? So there's a really good exercise that you might consider doing. And this is going to be sad in some ways, but it's also going to give you clarity. I want you to think about, if your dad has passed, think about how old your dad was. If your dad's still alive, I want you to think about your grandpas on both sides. So let's just take the example as grandpas on both sides. So if one grandpa lived to 92 and the other grandpa lived until 80, then your average between 80 and 92 is 86. So now you look at that and you think 86 is the number. How old am I today? And then you divide that by 365, and all of a sudden you have the number of days that you have left. This might be hard to do, but get out the giant Casio like I have, punch it in there. And it's kind of a moment that you have to gulp and say, holy cow, now you've put it into days. So I did have a grandpa that lived to 92. So I'm going to add that to another grandpa that lived to 86. And my average comes out to 89. So now I take 89, I'm 42 minus 42. It's 47 years. And I multiply that by 365. 17,155. I have 17,155 days likely left on Earth. And tomorrow it's going to be 17,154. And it's going to keep ticking down from there. What are you going to do with those days? Because here's something I believe, and I believe it with all my heart and soul. Your days become your life. Think about that. Your days add up to become a week. They add up to become a month. They add up to become a year, and then years. And why is that important to think about? Because if you're making really awful days, if you're putting together days full of stress and anxiety and hurt and pain, if you're putting together days where you're not serving or being the man or woman you want to be, then those days are adding up. That's trajectory. That is the compounding effect that's going to add up over time. We talked about something at the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind that came from the book Atomic Habits. If you haven't read Atomic Habits by James Clear, I highly recommend it. You think about, I don't want to learn about habits. This is a book it's a philosophy book on life that's going to help you get clear on where you're going and what you're doing. It's going to help you get clear on those days adding up to become your best life. So when I said this, I remember Harry, his jaw dropped. Your current state, right now, your current state is a lagging indicator of your habits. Let that sink in for a minute. Your current state with your relationships is a lagging indicator of your habits. Your current state with your money is a lagging indicator of your habits. Your current self-talk state is a lagging indicator of all the self-talk that's been going through your head, ping-ponging over time. Your current state with money is a lagging indicator of your saving habits or lack thereof. So you should be far more concerned with your trajectory than your results, because they're going to add up. Those days are going to add up to become your life. Now, for those that get discouraged and say, like, where do I begin? How do I do this? I want you to think about your identity versus your outcome. And this comes from James Clear in Atomic Habits. He says, the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. Anybody want to win the game? I love winning. I'm very competitive. It's kind of like secretly inside of me. Like I'll keep my face poker style, but like I really, really want to win. So the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of systems is to continue playing the game. Continue playing the game. So do you want to win one game or do you want to continue playing the game? Goals are fine, but the systems are going to get you there and become your day-to-day focus. You know, for Tom Brady, it wasn't the goal of winning a Super Bowl that got him there so many times. Everybody wants to win the Super Bowl. Every single team wants to win, that's in professional football, wants to win the Super Bowl. The team followed a system, and his identity led to the decisions and the daily habits to achieve that goal. Because he didn't want to just hang up his cleats. I mean, he even came out of retirement for a while because he wanted to play the game. He wanted to play it in a way that allowed him to win. So for those that get discouraged, let's talk about ice cubes and let's talk about bamboo. So if I take an ice cube and I'm in a cold room, so let's imagine it's sealed up in a glass box and you can see it and it's 0 degrees inside that glass box. Visualize that ice cube in that glass box surrounded by this blue looking air. That is an ice cube at 0 degrees. And then you heat it up to 1 degree, to 5 degrees, to 15 degrees. Nothing happens to that ice cube. 0. Nothing happens. Then you heat it up all the way to 31 degrees and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden, 32, nothing happens. Bam, 33 degrees, everything happens. It melts. Bamboo. Bamboo cannot be seen for about 5 years. It's growing an extensive root structure below the surface. 5 years this is happening. And then bam, after 5 years, within 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet into the air. 90 feet into the air. Nothing happens, and then everything happens all at once. That, you are the ice cube. You are the bamboo. That's what happens whenever your identity versus your outcome becomes the priority. Whenever your trajectory this year and beyond becomes the priority. Systems over outcomes. And the compounding effect of doing small changes, massively imperfect action, day after day after day, it's going to add up. So as you head into 2024, I just want to say I'm grateful for you listening to this podcast. If there's any way I can help, please let me know. I want you to think about your trajectory. I don't want you to think about your outcomes. I want you to think about the systems and the habits you can put in place. If you need to understand more about how to do that, I highly recommend checking out Atomic Habits by James Clear. Because as we head into 2024, we might be in another battle. But I don't want you to be in that battle showing up, looking around with your head on a swivel, kind of like the guys in Gladiator. You know, they gave them weapons ahead of time. They knew what they're getting into. What if somebody just parachuted you down into the middle of that arena and you're looking around like, where am I? What is this? Why are there shields and weapons and spiky balls coming at my head and swords? No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be intentional and I want you to get ahead of this. And we're here to help. I want you to follow the fam on LinkedIn and Facebook. Be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on there a lot. I'm Mark Kinsley. You should be able to find me. Give us a like and subscribe here. Share this podcast with your team. Share this podcast with your team. Get their feedback. Use it as a point of discussion and as a prompt to get a conversation going. And be sure to head over to fam.news to subscribe. That's where we're going to get you up to speed about everything that's happening in the fam, everything from the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind to Dream Camp to Sleep Summit to, gosh, even what's happening in Vegas. So that is to be announced. As you get into this next year, I just want to say once again, thank you so much for being a part of the fam. And we're here every Monday.